Hello, witch folk. Welcome to our coven.
We're angels on broomsticks. We're a mother-daughter duo.
And we love the makeup.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Evangeline. And today we're doing our Get Ready With Us video talking about And Just Like That. And we are on episode 6.
Diwali. We're already over halfway there. 4 more to go. There's only 10 eps,
Wow. Palette of the day that just came in the mail today. It's the Natasha Denona Glam palette. An older one, but new to us.
Because we're into the neutrals now, guys.
Yeah. And I bought it. It's usually her palettes we're holding up here, but this is mine, and I'm really excited. I think I'm going to follow. Some of you may know that some Natasha Denona's palettes have this transition crease.
It's only the only palette that has it.
Oh, it's the only one?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to follow it and do the transition, the crease, so we'll see how that goes.
So Diwali, we know what that is. That's the festival of light in India. And we don't know why it's called that yet. But in the first scene, we see Carrie and Anthony looking at an apartment. Mm-hmm. And how bright is that place?
That is literally a place of light, but in a bad way.
Yeah, so she's looking to move because, she needs a change, which is true. And it's I can relate to this storyline because I'm going to be moving in 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
And it's the way I thought it too. It's where I live is in a house, and I've been in a house since forever.
Yeah.
A house type vibe.
Didn't think of that.
I've never been in an apartment, and I'm going to go in an apartment that requires elevator.
Yeah, it's going to be
different.
So
it's a whole different thing. So I thought that's what I want to do instead of moving to a place that is similar,
Yeah.
Because then I won't miss it.
You're trying to bring some level of change.
And talk about Diwali in my new place. It's floor-to-ceiling windows. And nobody hates light more than me. I hate light.
So weird. She doesn't like the sunshine.
I don't like looking at dust and ugh.
It's true, the dust.
And I don't like the way it fades the furniture and all your artwork. So she's thinking about buying this place, this brand spanking new place that overlooks the Hudson River.
Yeah.
It was a set, by the way, because
they couldn't find the perfect spot for it.
I do listen to the companion podcast, guys, so I learn things.
Yeah, I listened to it today too. It's ugly. I don't like that.
I think it's freaking ugly.
Soulless.
It's soulless. It's like a box, but it's white. It's not even beige. It's the opposite. It looks like the portal to heaven, though.
But she does end up buying it because she's been apparently dragging Seema around.
Yeah, so the next scene, she's reading in a chair in that cozy blanket I'm obsessed with. If you can knit me or find some grandma that can knit me one of those blankies. She's reading on the chair. That's what I didn't understand. She's reading on the chair in a cozy blankie. She's not even watching TV and eating or drinking some people I know. And she goes, this is unhealthy.
Well, yeah. I feel like she just feels like it should be unhealthy because there's this whole theme in this episode of change and people staying the same or changing, and I feel like she's trying to find her place post-big, and she doesn't want to feel like she's regressing.
True.
So she's trying to discover a way to move forward, and to her,
yeah, that's true.
It feels like, okay, well, I should move because this place is who I was when I was in my 30s. I'm not this person anymore.
Yeah, because she's already left the place because it's 3 months later that Seema listed her apartment with Big, so that's obviously sold, but we don't. I think they'll just never tell us who bought it.
No,
that's gone. And so then the next scene, it's Charlotte and her girls in the girls' bedroom.
Yeah.
But as we know, one of her daughters is now rock and is gender neutral.
Yeah.
And so they got a really girly bedroom with roses.
So ugly.
And a rose and all this stuff. And she's got these dolls called Madame Alexander dolls. Yeah. I looked it up. They do exist.
I feel like they had been mentioned in the original series at one point, like that doll collecting.
Was it that weird doll guy? That's what I was thinking of.
Because I recognize that name.
Yeah.
I feel like he says, my Madame Alexander doll.
Yeah, so, they're expensive. Rock and Lily don't like them. And Lily says they're culturally inappropriate. Just like, okay. I'm still of the era where it's like, relax.
About some things.
About some things.
Well,
and we'll get to something else about cultural appropriation in a minute.
Yeah. In the podcast, though, they particularly were saying that Charlotte's character sometimes will represent certain audience members of Sex and the City, sort of appealing to like a generation that's a little bit more
like
really
me.
Like that. Well, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
What? I didn't know. And you don't. You learn, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't. What can I say?
You don't think about it in the same way we do. Whereas I find my generation, sometimes I'm like, I'm like overthinking everything. I'm like, oh, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Like, have I said something inappropriate? Like you're almost watching what you say so much.
Yeah. So, it's decided that room's going to change. The plot line just sort of ended later on where she packed up the dolls because she's learning.
Well, yeah, again, this episode is a lot about change, and we'll get to this in particular scene and Charlotte's sentiments, but I think we're seeing a lot of that theme among all the girls. It's almost like a message to the audience, in my opinion, too. Like, everyone who's upset about this show, it's not the same show.
Yeah, exactly. It's not, we can't, we're different because we lost people.
Yeah.
We've literally lost some actors.
Yeah.
Some not wanting to be there. One got canceled and another really did pass away, IRL. So.
Yeah. And it's a very post-COVID message, very post-COVID world, too, this feeling of loss and moving on and refinding yourself.
Amy. I like those points you're making.
Oh, okay.
So then next we're back with Miranda and Nya, her professor, outside. Nya's storyline has to do with she's opening up like a shelter. I didn't really listen to that part.
Well, it wasn't really that important.
She's like, and then she gets a phone call and she has to go out to dinner with her husband and his friend and his wife, who is called Fertile Myrtle because she's got 2 babies. And Nya's doing IVF or is planning on doing another round.
Yeah. And
so this whole storyline is just kind of reminds me of when they bring in stories for someone, to get another spinoff, like
to get a new show.
Does not go because then following scenes with Nya the core 3 aren't even in it.
Yeah.
She's carrying it by herself.
Yeah.
Just being with the dinner party with the Fertile Myrtle, who's announces she's pregnant for the 3rd time, and whose husband is like ribbing them on. You guys got to catch up.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't even know if I want to have a baby.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting storyline in of itself. I agree. But does it really go in here?
I feel like her story is when it's in relevance to like Miranda and having conversations with Miranda and almost seeming like Miranda expressing like her being a mother like wasn't enough. Like it provides context for that, but it being its own story, you're right. It's like, well, why?
It's like you're either doing a spin-off or it's like we're teenagers again and we're watching soap operas and it's summer break and suddenly there's storylines for teenagers,
Yeah. Because they've done that on other shows where they actually spin it off. Like Addison on Grey's Anatomy had private practice. And you have this whole one episode where she's like not on the Grey's set. She's on this... They're transitioning her to the new show, and I always skip that episode.
Yeah, we don't like it.
I don't want to watch
The one thing I do like about Nya, though, is her athleisure wear fashion sensibilities.
Oh.
Like when she's with Miranda in the park, she's wearing like an Adidas like tracksuit. Like it's so me.
That I was gonna say that sounds like a you style.
Yeah. But that storyline, for me, I understand there's new viewers. Is there, or younger viewers?
No, there's not new viewers.
No, everybody's old.
No one who hasn't seen Sex and the City is watching this.
This is true.
That would be really weird.
Yeah, you'd be weird if this is your introduction to the girls. Anywho, so that storyline goes. But we do see the one also good thing about, we haven't seen any sex because it's not called Sex in the City.
Yeah.
We saw only, Miranda last episode getting fingered.
And Miranda masturbating.
That comes up. But, like, we do see Nya and her husband having a good boning session.
True. It's almost shocking. It's like,
With, like, side boob. And it's like, finally, like, we used to see everything all the time.
Yeah.
So then the next part is they're sari shopping, Seema and Carrie. Because it's Diwali time, which is always, like, in the fall. Like, November? Yeah.
It is in the fall.
I used to go to Diwali, get the Diwali treats, because we live near Little India, but everybody's been moving away.
Yeah, it's being gentrified, that neighborhood, and now it's a bunch of dog shops and white people.
Dog shops and white people.
Yeah.
So Seema is, like, reluctant to go to her family Diwali because she's single. Like, can you imagine being 53 and people bothering you about your single stuff?
I know. They're like, she's
like,
53.
well, she's not going to have a baby.
I know. So it's like, why do you care?
Why do you care? Maybe maybe she's asexual. She's not, but like,
just
why do
leave
you
her alone.
We don't need to be coupled up all the time. But Carrie offers to come, which is amazing, and Seema says, let's get you a sari. And Carrie says, is that allowed?
Yeah. Which is
cultural appreciation.
Yeah.
What's wrong with cultural appreciation? It's not like you're making fun of it. It's not a Halloween costume you're doing.
No.
And you're not profiting from it because you're not like some fashion designer incorporating it in your runway.
Yeah. It's true. There's specific times where it is appreciation and where it's respectful to dress that way.
Anyways, Carrie's so excited, and who wouldn't be? Sultan. Carrie goes to her storage locker with Charlotte, which is sort of a sweet moment because she's going to decorate that white box, you know. All her stuff from the apartment with Big is in there. The hugest storage locker. It's so amazing.
She put everything in there.
So she's just, you know, she wants to find stuff that sparks joy. And then I like Charlotte in this scene because she's very supportive and sweet.
Yeah, they're saying, like, Charlotte's learned from, like, Carrie saying, like, just let me be sad, give me space. And Charlotte's going through a lot of, like, people reprimanding her all the time in this whole season, but she's
cute in this
listening.
Scene.
She's excited.
In this scene, she's good. And so they find a couple things. That lamp from Conrad's.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, store. There's one in London. I didn't know there was one in New York. But it's a cute yellow lamp, and then her hat, which she wears later. And to me, that's the fun part when she goes back to that place. But she finds Big's records, and that's where she melts down.
Yeah.
But she goes back to the place in the white apartment. She's got her hat on, the lamp, and she's making that dinner with the salmon and the asparagus. It's the only thing she seems to know how to do.
She's like, is that too much
And then
salt?
she hears this beep, 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 and she doesn't know what it is. And it's so annoying. Has that ever happened to you? It has to me a couple times.
Seems like something that would happen to you, and you'd call me, Edie! What is this noise?
It's usually the battery to your either your fire alarm or the one that the carbon dioxide. Yeah.
I had that going off. And all the
But mind you, she doesn't know what it is. Anthony, her new best friend, calls and he says it's always the dishwasher. But anyway, he asks her to go with him to a consultation for a facelift, which brings on more fun. The doctor is so cute.
He's apparently like a known actor.
Yeah, he's from Mindhunter.
Huh.
I don't know his name, but I could look IMDb.
He's very charming. Very good.
I love his voice.
Job.
And he thinks that it's Carrie that wants the facelift.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And then he acts like it was his secretary who messed up the rooms. I think not. I think he just went to assuming it was the woman in the room coming for the consultation.
Well,
which is what's relevant to the scene because it's like Anthony's going for the consult and the guy sits in front of him, looking at him, assessing him, very, very sexy, leaning in there. And Anthony's like, sitting pretty. It's like, you don't need a facelift. You've got great Italian skin. All you need is maybe some Botox for your 11s. And he's like, ooh. Then Carrie is like, well,
what about my 11s? And then he explains about sinkers.
Hollowers.
Or
sinkers,
smelters. I don't know.
How your face ages.
Yeah.
But right away to Carrie, he's like, and she's like, it's on my face. I just lost my husband. I don't normally
She
look
couldn't
like
sleep
this."
because of the beeping.
And that too. But he's like, yeah, you could use a little facelift, maybe a half lift or something. And then
Which is insane because her face is so tight.
it's taut. Yeah.
She's got no goob under here.
Goob.
You know, like
Yeah.
that's what I wondered. Do people get that goob taken away? Sucked out?
They do. It's a neck lift, isn't it?
Is it?
Then he does this 3D print of her face, drive-by, what do they call it?
The drive-by facelift.
Facelift. And saying all these things she could do, and it does look like her when she's younger by the time
It does.
the CGI is done.
I think they used. Yeah, she looks good. But she looks good. I like her kind of little bit wizened look. I think she always looks good. I'm a big, huge fan of SJP.
Yeah. I think it's really relevant to what's going on with the actresses because they're facing, like, especially Charlotte, the actress, Kristen Davis, like, just like there's no winning
There's
with
no
it.
winning.
It's like
I can't win.
You do the work and then people criticize you for it. You don't do the work, people criticize you for it, and it is all women. Men are allowed to age, women aren't. As clear by Anthony, like, you don't need a facelift, but Carrie does.
He's lucky he can wear a beard. That's neither here nor there. That's just me. If I could wear a beard, I would.
It's makeup for men. That's what my friend said. Beards are makeup for men.
So then the next scene is they're in the. So this comes the meat of the episode, where they're at the picnic and Carrie talks about her consultation. Miranda's like, nope.
Miranda's calling it out, but then Charlotte's saying there's nothing wrong if you want to do a little bit. Like, it's up to you
Botox and fillers, which I agree with.
if you want to.
If you want to. I don't think that's even cheating, honestly. I
Who
don't.
cares if it's cheating? Cheating.
Oh yeah,
Do what
cheating
you
nature.
want, whatever. But then Miranda ends up bringing the conversation, steers it right to, I had an affair with Shay.
Well, she first says, I'm going to tell you something and I don't want you to be mad.
Yeah.
And it's kind of reminiscent of when, she has to tell Charlotte she's pregnant.
Oh yeah, it does remind me of
And it's
that.
like, you're going to have a reaction and I don't want you to.
Yeah,
And she does.
yeah.
And she's like, Charlotte's like, this is an affair. Which brings us to the funniest line. It's not an affair, it was a finger.
But it is an affair, isn't it?
No, she just had
It's a
one. She did it one time.
One indiscretion.
An
but it's
affair
not an
is like
affair.
when you're meeting someone, or even like having,
Yeah.
a constant. She hasn't even seen Shay, and it's been probably 3 months.
Months, yeah. Hasn't even spoken to them.
Yeah, but she's been fantasizing because in the earlier scene, she was masturbating wildly, and Brady's at the other side of the door,
so
Mom,
awkward.
and she's like.
I'll be there in a second.
It's like that,
Not like that.
almost like that when it's like, but in the old one episode,
Yeah.
Mommy's coming.
She's
Mom-
coming. I thought of that totally. Is this Miranda trying to come out to her friends? I don't think she knows what it is exactly.
Yeah, because then, Charlotte says to her, and this is like to me the cuttingest line ever.
Yeah.
You're not progressive enough for this.
Yeah.
That's when she just kind of stomps out. That's rude. That's like calling someone a Republican.
Like, Charlotte's reaction is partly her dealing with her own, like, home life and dealing with Rose's transitioning, I think.
Yeah.
But
It's like, how dare she say that to her? So it's
Yeah.
very judgy.
Yeah.
So she stomps off, and Carrie follows her out and says, you can't leave. We already had somebody leave,
yeah.
even if you disagree. And that was a kind of cute moment because she did come back, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know how they resolved it. I can't remember. Oh, she was like, oh, I know. It resolved in that Charlotte said, why can't we just stay the same? Carrie says, some of us don't have the luxury.
Yeah. A big theme of this whole episode. People changing, people moving on, people trying to find who they are, not knowing where they are. And there's a lot of symbolism for Carrie with the Diwali experience. Well, when they were like on their way back from the Diwali party, Seema's like, oh, I forgot to give you this, and ties this red band around Carrie's wrist, which is like a symbolism of her strength, I think she says. And then you see Carrie, like soon after this, it looks like Carrie is staying in her old apartment. I don't think she's keeping that. Yeah, she puts that stupid place on the market again.
But she's looking at her bare face in the mirror.
Yeah, and she puts back on her Carrie necklace. You see her in her living room, and she's unpacked Big's records and leaves the apartment with Big's like suit jacket on with her pretty dress, and she's wearing all red too, which is like the band, and it's very symbolic. She's clearly in this point of acceptance and this point of accepting like Big and her whole life, and the whole like cosmetic procedure thing like tied in with that, because it was like, oh, you could erase the past 15 years, but she doesn't want to. She wants to embrace it.
At the same time, Charlotte takes down the dolls and packs them up.
Yeah.
And Miranda, you see Miranda at her place. She's folding the laundry of Steve's underwear. The way she used to love to do. Saturday night, folding Steve's underwear. And then she pauses, and then she goes on her phone and she texts Shay, why don't we hang out sometime?
She Instagrams Shay, who has, but I'm just saying, Shay has like 500,000 followers almost or something, as if they're going to get that message in their Instagram box. It goes straight to the,
It's not meant to happen between Miranda and Shay.
No. Well,
it better not. Not that it's like I mind the storyline of Miranda, but like it's just the way it is, like when you have a crush on someone. It never works out.
No. It's always better before it happens.
Yeah. It's always better just to have that one thing.
Yeah. But in the next like preview of the next episode, I know that Miranda's going to say something to Shay about, why didn't you message me back?
Oh, because she's gonna like be mean to poor little Miranda. Miranda's gonna be all vulnerable.
We'll see. I'm curious.
Yeah. Okay.
I think
that was the
I'm
end.
gonna put mascara on. Let's do mascara and share any last thoughts and finish off with some lips. I'm gonna line first. Normally I do the lipstick first these days. But I'm gonna line.
I'm gonna line. And I got this. I'm trying this Fenty thing out. It's Diwali pink.
Oh, isn't that the Stunna lip paint?
I don't know.
Stunna.
Have I done it yet?
This is the MAC cork liner. The MAC liners are so long.
Okay, here goes nothing. Ooh. I think I used this before. It tickles.
You did, and you said that. You're like, it tickles.
Okay.
You have to concentrate with that one.
Okay.
I'm using a Makeup by Mario Sierra.
I did get a bit out of the line, but I'm going to wait till it dries.
Oh. I didn't do lashes today, and I feel like my look is lacking. I feel like lashes always add that finishing look. Almost like eyeliner, but easier than eyeliner, because eyeliner's hard. I hate doing liquid liner. But lashes, you just pop them on, and it's like, whoop. Okay, these are the finished looks. Yeah, I don't really have that much more to say about this episode. It was kind of straightforward, you know. Nothing crazy happened, but
I liked it.
I liked it.
I'm loving the show.
Yeah, I get excited every week for it.
Me too. So
this
excited.
And Yellow Jackets. If you haven't seen Yellow Jackets, you should watch that.
I stopped watching it.
Yeah, because you kept going on your phone instead of watching it.
It's too
You
much.
have to watch
It's too many
It's dark.
mosquitoes and things.
It's a dark show.
Euphoria's back.
Yes, watch that already too.
I haven't watched it yet.
So much nakedness in Euphoria. It's shocking, and like several penises. In case you're interested.
Oof.
Yeah, that never happens. It's always the
You're
women who have to be naked.
Yeah.
This is both.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so definitely let us know in the comments down below your thoughts on this episode, where everything's going. Yeah, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Stay witchy, stay bitchy. Have a good week. Bye, witches.
Bye.